Merci. Okay, so we can now record. Thank God. Okay, so I'm going to start recording.
Good evening, everyone.
Let's see.
Okay, so last week I learned I should have a roadmap for whatever I want to do. Like for this design, I should know where I am and then where I want to be. And also, she said something that you should like what you're doing, and actually struck me because I had to go back home and check. Like, do I really like what? Do I want to do this? This is something that I have passion for. Do I want to follow this through? And so it just gave me like a wake up call to go back and be sure that I want to start this journey. Yeah. And then also because of the assignment, I was able to see where I am, my short term goal, my mid term goal, and then my long term goal. Yeah, basically that's what I learned.
All right. So thank you very much. Please let's try to share when you're called or probably when there's like open door for you to talk about something. Please don't be shy. This is a safe space. Right. Okay. So I'll start recording. Right. So that okay, so we started recording. All right, so good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to session 2 of Beyond Bootcamp from Learning to Thriving. And I'm so excited to see all of you here again. As you know, my name is Folashade Adegbiti, and I'm your host for this bootcamp, basically. So last week, we focused on clarity, we focused on direction, and also finding your footing. So today we are going to move into something every designer actually struggle with at their early stage, and that is practice that counts. Not random designs, not Instagram dribbles, but actually work that actually gets you noticed and open the door. Because that's at the end, after you're learning and all that, you want to do work that actually gets you noticed, and you want to do jobs that not just get noticed, but you're called for an interview, you're called for a job, you're called to resume somewhere and all that. So not just the work itself, right? So tonight we're so, let's say, blessed or so lucky, or I don't know the right word to use, to have someone who actually embodies practical design execution, and his name is Kutaje Joseph. We call him Kutaje Baba. I hope I got that. Is it Kutaje Baba or Kutaje? Hello, Kutaje.
Yeah,
Please defend your nickname. Is it
Kutaje.
Kutaje Baba or Kutaje
Baba,
Baba?
not Kutaje.
Say
It's
again.
actually Kutaje
Oh,
Baba.
Kutaje.
Yeah.
My bad.
Do I need to turn on my camera? I think
We would love to see your face. Like,
but you can see my face on just like now, showing there.
please, we want to see you talking in action. We want to be sure that it's not your AI, anyways. Well, that's not.
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay, so let me introduce you while you're trying to turn on your camera. So Kutaje is a seasoned senior product designer with over half a decade of experience crafting intuitive, impactful designs for startup, scale-ups, and design agency. His expertise has been instrumental to companies like Parkway, a leading fintech innovator providing secure payment platforms across Africa, Reliance Health, a YC-backed health tech startup using technology to make quality healthcare delightful, affordable, accessible in emerging markets, and also at InterSwitch, Africa's leading technology-driven company focus on digitizing payment in Africa. Kutaje is currently building Sovo. I think this is the place where I used to, I don't know, pronounce. So, please, can you pronounce it one more time? I hope I don't forget again.
So you pronounce it.
Oh, I got it. Please start for me. I got it finally. So currently, Kutaje is building Sovo, the all-in-one platform to manage surveys and get research participants in minutes. It serves as a UX design mentor at Design Lab, where it passionately guides designers worldwide to own their craft and become more effective professionals. Beyond its professional role, Kutaje is passionate about conversations that deliver clarity, practical guidance, and real value to entry mid-level designers. Can you clap with your emoji, clapping emoji to celebrate our design expert for today's session? I'm waiting. I want him to see it. Let him feel it that we're here. So thank you, Kutaje, for being here. The floor is open to you. Yeah, it's open. The floor is yours. So over to you, Kutaje. Thank you for being here. Yes.
All right, thank you for having me. I was looking for my pen. And that's some fun. I need to take notes. But all right, good evening, everybody. This is a pleasure, right? It's a pleasure for me to do this. It's been a while. I had opportunity to mentor a number of people like this, so it's a pleasure for me. Fola has done a very good job introducing me. I'm not sure there's anything else I want to share, but I'll just talk briefly about a couple of things. So yeah, I'm building Soho, right? So a product to help researchers. If you are doing a research, whether you're a designer, a student, a marketer, a business person, but you need participants or you even need data. Because I'm currently building a repository where before you do a research, you can go there and see if the research you're looking for, someone else has conducted it and the data is open for you to access. Right. So that repository is going to be made public this week. Right. But so we do two things basically. You can find research data and also you can find participants for your research very fast. So you don't have to spam. You don't have to start begging friends to participate in your research if they're not your target audience, or you don't have to start spamming groups and begging people to complete your survey. So that's the problem we're solving with Server. And also for the design area, so it's a podcast, design podcast, yeah, that helps unblock mid-level, entry-level designers so that they can scale and grow along that career journey. So we've had a number of episodes and we have one coming up before the end of the month. We had one last week, right, where we hosted Dara. I don't know if you know Dara Sobaluchu. If you've heard of cubing AI, let me see thumbs up or any reaction. Nobody? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Well, can you hear me?
Please, I didn't hear that part.
Okay, so do you know, have we heard of cubing AI? Okay, how many of us are active on Twitter? Okay, yeah, I got one thumbs up. Yeah, so yeah, the past few days on Twitter has been crazy, right? But before these past few days, right? So there's a tool built by a top designer in Nigeria, Dara Sobaloju, to help basically. So if you are a Christian here, right, it basically helps you or helps your minister bring up scriptures faster. So as your minister is preaching or your pastor is preaching, the tool, the software picks his words, then also matches it with the scripture and just pulls it up. So that's really fast. So we brought him last week for our episode. So at some point I'll give you time to just follow us. But for now, sorry for that. I spent so much time talking about what I selling my stuff. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of today's session or this week's session. So last week I listened a bit on I listened to the recording a bit of the session for last week. Let me bring up my slides. I'm going to be sharing this. Yeah. So let me know if you can see my screen. I'm sharing, I can see it, but just give me a thumbs up if you see on your end. Okay, good. So last week I listened a bit to the recording from the last session and also some of the feedbacks you have shared about what you took away from the session. So this week, like Fola Shade has shared, it's going to be practical. Right. So I'm just going to run you through the slides. And my session today is going to be interactive. Right. So you see the parts where it's going to be interactive. So for this week, we're going to look at practice that counts, building work that gets noticed. Right. So somewhere down the line, I'll make mention of, because building works that get noticed. Okay, when we get there, I'll let you know, but I'm going to make mention of a designer. Some of you may know her already if you're active. You've been active on Twitter maybe last year too. Rue Douglas, RUE Douglas. So she did I don't know if she was able to complete for the whole of the year, but she did a 365 days design. So every day she was designing an imaginary feature for Nigerian products. So not Nigerian products, basically any product. She did for Showdeck, she did for Google, like different products. If he has used a product and he thinks that, okay, I think this feature will make sense for this product, she worked on it, she posted it on Twitter. So I'm going to pull up her Twitter handle and also reference some of the tweets, because that is one way you can build or you can design, you can practice, and your practice can get noticed. So you can pick a product and work on it, or see a feature you think you can add or an improvement you can make to that product and tag the company. Who knows? So of course people are going to see it, yes. Then also, who knows, the company may pay attention and may give an opportunity to intern with them or probably to even work with them. So yeah, that's one way to get a work notice. But let's continue. So yeah, about me, I think we've gone past this now. So a bit more about me. So I've led Webflow community. I currently do, but not so much activities. Webflow community, framework communities. I was part of the AL seminar force. I don't know if you know of ALC back then, 2.0, 3.0, Andela, like that's very early back 2021, 2022. So I did ALC too. I used Figma, I used Framer, I used Sketch back then when Figma has not been so strong or popular. And also I use Cursor for vibe coding, Notion, Etc. Of course, I use ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude for AI interactions or chats. So what to expect? So if you have any question, let me open the chat box here, in case at any point somebody has a question for me. Okay, so if you have any question for me, you can drop it in the chat, right? But there's going to be an interactive session today. So what to expect from this week, from this session or for this week? You are going to identify a problem, right? What that means, like I said earlier, could be a product improvement, could be a new feature, or basically a simple product, something that does something very simple that you can design for in one day. I'm going to show you that quote, but when I talk about product improvement and new feature, don't think about something so elaborate, because we don't have the time, right? It's just 1 week, and in this 1 week, you are not just going to design alone. There are other things you do, right? Like you'll see here, and so I'll show you a timeline. But yeah, so you are going to identify a problem and also design for it. But your design should be something you can do in 1 day. You're going to validate the problem. So what that means is that, yes, you spot a problem, but is it a problem worth solving, right? Let me give an instance. I think back in the day, somebody reached out to me that they wanted to design an app that can enable people in, I think, in the highland or other parts of Lagos where it's difficult to get water. So on the app, you can like find trucks that can deliver water to you. It makes sense, but practically, like, can you build that? Can you implement it, right? So think of a solution that you know that, okay, is worth building, and if I put this in out there, it's going to draw the attention of people, okay, even though it's just one feature. So you're going to learn to validate the problem, or you're going to not learn, you're going to validate it. I will guide you, but you are going to validate the problems, right? So what that means is you do research, you're going to define the problem. So you're going to read about the problem, read about the target audience, research data you find, articles written about that problem, understand the problem, then you now frame it. So I'm going to give you a problem statement framework that I use. So when you've done your research, the framework will help guide you on how to make the statement like, okay, this is the problem. Because sometimes if you don't have a problem statement and someone asks you, okay, what problem are you solving? You start explaining. But that's not how it should be, or nobody really has time for that. So when somebody asks you, okay, what's the problem you're solving, you should have a statement, a clear, defined statement on what problem you're solving, okay? And also we're going to explore solutions. So this one is going to be really quick. This explore solution bit, so everything you see here will happen in 1 day. And if finding a problem, some of you already have problems. So that's going to be something that's going to be easy for you. So for the number one, I'll show you what I'll move on to the next, but I just want to walk you through this. So explore solution will also happen in 1 day. What that means is that, okay, you've identified the problem, you have validated that this problem is good to solve. Now you want to explore, okay, how can we solve it? Sometimes you may think that you already have a solution in your head, right? But when you explore means that you look at how other products solve similar problems. It may not be a direct competition, right? It may be in a different industry, but the problem is quite the same. Let's say, for instance, Jumia does delivery, right? Good and fine, logistics. but fashion shops, footwear, like any business that does delivery is in a way competing with Jumia, right? So if I sell bread, maybe I bake bread and I dispatch or deliver to my customers, right? Somehow, some way, I have similarity with Jumia. So you can compare, okay, this problem I'm trying to solve, does it exist in any other industry? Can I get inspiration from how they are solved? So you may discover that your initial thought of what you perceive the solution would be like will be different from what you eventually discover. So the reason I'm explaining this is because I don't want you to just say, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. No, designers, you should not think that way, right? You should explore, okay, I have one solution. How else can we solve this problem? This is one solution. So don't limit yourself to just say, this is the only solution I have. How else can we solve the problem? So explore different solutions and you identify the best or the better one. When we get there, I hope guide you on how to define which solution is most feasible. And because there are a number of things you have to consider. You have to consider the time you have, like I said. So let me move forward a bit. So explore solution, you design and prototype the solution. What that means, whatever you design, you need to prototype it. Now in prototyping and design, so there are two things you can do. Whichever you do is fine because we don't have so much time. You can leverage your existing design systems in Figma. So Figma, if you go to Figma community, you can see existing design system, Carbon design system, and there's what's it called now? Look Scout, Align. Align is not free. There's Untitled designs. There are a number of free design. IBM has their design system. So look for a number of design systems or kits. Now you can quickly just get their button, get their card, get their dashboard, get their tabs, and just put together your design. That can work. Or you can design from scratch, whichever works for you, but it must be done in 24 hours so that I can review. Okay, so let me move forward from this. So now, like I said, pick a problem you can design for in 24 hours. What that means is that whatever you're going to design, it has to be done in 24 hours because you don't have the time. Okay, then I need to review too. Then you are going to iterate based on my feedback or based on feedback from other members of the bootcamp, then also improve to prepare for your case study. So whatever problem you are thinking of, don't try to solve Nigeria's problem. Don't try to solve Lagos's problem, wherever you are. Don't try to solve your community problem. It can solve your community problem, but it has to be something very small. Or if it's a problem that is quite large, see how, okay, what is the smallest thing I can do to attempt solving this problem, right? Not large scale. So you can scale down your solution to something very small. What next? Yeah, so you can always refine later. So if it's a problem that you feel like, okay, I like what I've done, but I can build on this after the bootcamp, you can build on it. Okay. Now, timeline of activities. So, like I said, it's going to be very, very practical. Day one. So the one is not today, the one is tomorrow. Okay. So the one I'll provide a Google template this night for you. And you are going to duplicate or copy basically. Now with it, you are going to, so that Google document is basically is going to serve as a documentation throughout my session. What that means is that in it, you are going to define your problem. You are going to validate. So your research data, the links to the articles you read, the problem statements you come up with, the impact you are looking to make with it. So like it's basically your documents to capture everything you do from inception to final prototype. Because this is the information you will need to create your case study, right? So I know a number of us design, we don't document. Yeah, there's scenarios like that. But if you want to create a case study, you need to document everything, your research, your thought process, everything you do, so that when you're creating a case study, you have those artifacts, you have your screenshots, you have your images, you have a prototype, you have your the decisions that backed your designs, right? So just make your case in your case study. Okay, so now they want tomorrow. So tomorrow there will be, by this night you get it. So by tomorrow I expect before the end of the day, right? You can jump to day two if you have the liberty, you have the time. But before the end of the day tomorrow, I expect you to copy the Google document I provide, identify a problem within an existing product, industry, or region. Now, so let me explain a bit. So when I say identify a problem, are we all here? Can you hear me? Thumbs up from anybody. I want to be sure we're good.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Am I speaking too fast? are my words clear?
Yes, they are clear. The slides is also clear too.
Okay.
Yes, you are speaking
I'm trying
fast
to
too.
improve my clear
Yes, you
because
are speaking fast too.
I'm speaking fast. Okay, all right. I will slow down. All right. I think at some point somebody said like I'm rapping, or not you guys, but like I got that feedback. Okay, so let me slow down a bit. Now let me talk about identifying a problem within an existing industry, because this is quite important. Now there are two things you can do, right? You can decide that okay, you have a fresh you have a fresh product, or a fresh, let's say fresh products you want to build or design for. Now, if you are designing a fresh product, like you have an idea, like okay, I want to solve this problem, right? Like I said, disclaimer is make sure something you can design something for in one day. But if you want to design an idea from scratch for this session, know that you would have to think of the things like color. It's easy basically, but just to let you know that when you get to the design solutions part, which is the 4, you have to think of what color to use, what fonts to use, your layout, brand, a bit of branding, sort of, right? That is quite easy. I'll be here to guide you, and I believe some of you may know that already, right? But that's if you are doing from scratch. Now, if you are solving a problem that an existing product already has, you don't really have to worry about color, typography, and all that stuff. Reasoning being that they already have it. So imagine you are designing for, let's say child deck. No, I'm going to use something else. I've used child deck. Okay, stick to child deck. So let's say you're designing for a child deck. You already know their brand color, so you know what their button color looks like. You know what their typography looks like. You know what their app layout looks like. You know the kind of illustrations they use. So you don't have to think too much about what visuals to use for your design. But if you are designing from scratch, you have to now think about okay, how maybe not so much, right? So that you don't bore yourself or obsess so much about the details. But that's the difference. Okay. So when you're picking a problem, know that this, depending on what problem you pick, if it's a new problem or a fresh idea or an existing feature you want to add, you go in this one of these two directions. Then submit. So once you copy the Google document, submit it to the WhatsApp group. So the group is going to be busy, very busy during this my session. I don't know what Fola Shade thinks, but when I'm done, she'll let me know if she has an alternative or she's okay with that. But for me now, the group is going to be very busy this week. So you're going to submit the link to the WhatsApp group. So duplicate the Google document, put in I'll give you a framework, like this is the problem I'm looking to solve, this is the impact I'm looking to make, so you put the problem there and you paste the link in the group, you put your name so that I can attach, or basically, okay, put your name in the document also. So I think I'll put the part where you put your name so I can know who has which document, so I can follow through from inception or from problem to the final design. Then for day 2, which is now the Tuesday, okay. So some of you can go to day 2 already, because if you already know the problem you want to solve, it's simple, something you can do in one day. As soon as you get the document this night, you can put in the problem there, can move on to start validation. So what is validation? Now, validation means that this problem you're looking to solve, what is it really a problem? So it can be a problem you face, right? I think I'll drop an article on how to identify problems. The one way you can identify a problem, it can be a problem that you yourself face and you are tired of. For me personally, the reason why I'm doing Solvo is because it's a problem that I keep facing and I'm tired of it. So where I worked before, we need to do research and I have to start looking for participants. In my freelance projects to validate ideas or design decisions, I need to look for participants. I switched companies, I still have to, so like it's a problem I see that I have. And what validated it for me, because I saw other people doing the same, posting on WhatsApp groups, posting on social media, begging people. So I saw, okay, it's not a problem that I just have. Other people also has the problem. So one way to identify a problem, maybe something that you yourself have found that, okay, this thing is a pain point for me. Like, can we not solve this? Why is nobody solving this? So it can be a problem you face. It can be a problem you've noticed that other people face. But it will also be cool if it's a problem it will be best if it's a problem that you've experienced, because that way it will be easy for you to empathize with the user. Okay. Then in terms of validation, there are different ways to validate. You can do research. So you can Google, you can use ChatGPT, not seeking for ChatGPT's opinion. You're looking for data, statistics. articles written to show that this thing is not a problem that I myself have faced alone. People in other parts of the world, in other parts of Africa, are facing this problem. Or in other parts of Lagos, doesn't have to be a global problem, it can be a small problem, but there has to be a sizable number of people facing that same problem. So that you know that when you solve the problem, it's going to be quite impactful. You don't want to solve a problem that you alone face. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. But when you solve a problem that people have, are like, okay, this is cool. We like this. Okay. Because like the title of my session is work that gets noticed. So if you want to get, if you want your work to get noticed, it has to be something that would resonate with a number of people. So you validate it. So in this part, you're going to attach to that document the articles you read, the data sources you find, whatever. So if you are using ChatGPT for these interactions, get the sources and append it to the document. So I don't want to, because you are going to be doing a number of things in these past few days, but that document you are going to copy tomorrow is going to help you capture everything in one place. Because at some point you need to get inspiration, at some point you need to go, at some point you need to use ChatGPT or Claude. So as you are going about the place, you need one place to store everything. Then estimate the impact. So this is very important. Okay, so why this is important is this. Let me see. Okay, so why this is important is because now a problem you solve, you want to show that it is going to be very, I'm trying to escape the word impactful, but let me use it again. Right now, this is to size the problem or the solution, right? So if a company or a client is going to work with you, they need to know how impactful you are as a designer, and if you are someone that even thinks of impact, because some people just do stuff for doing sake, but they need to know if you are someone who thinks of impact, and how, if you are going to employ you or bring you into a company or into this project, what can you deliver? It's not just designs. What impact can your design contribute to the business, right? So you need to be very, very aware of your impact. Don't just do stuff for doing sake. Yeah, there's a place for that when you are practicing. But if you want to do a project, right, that you are going to turn into a case study, make sure you are clear on the impact. For instance, if you add a new feature to Child Deck, for instance, how can you measure the impact? You go to Google app, you can go to their Twitter page and find out where their founder says, okay, this is the total number of users that Child Deck has. So let's say they have like maybe 40,000 people across Nigeria and other countries they've expanded to. So which means that the products the feature you are going to add to Child Deck is going to impact 40,000 people across Africa. That is sizable. You get my point now? So there are different ways you can make. Sometimes you can go to the App Store and see, okay, how many downloads do they have? But you need to be able to quantify, if you solve this problem, this is the number of people it can impact. This is the amount of time it can save, right? So maybe, let me give an example here. So one thing I personally thought about was, or is ChatGPT. So, but Claude has it. No, Claude does not really have it. Let me go back to ChatGPT. So sometimes I may want to refer to an earlier prompt. So let's say I'm chatting with ChatGPT and I've given it a prompt before, and I want to refer to the response it gave me for that prompt. Currently, it doesn't have that feature. But I wish that ChatGPT has something like just the way WhatsApp has it, where you can quote somebody's. Let's say I sent you a message or you sent me a message. We've gone far in the conversation. I can go back to an earlier message and reply to that message and ask you or respond or send you a message with respect to that. So I personally wish that ChatGPT has that, because sometimes I'm like, okay, you know what, refer to the response you gave me for this prompt and do this. Right. So that is a problem I personally have noticed. Now, if I want to go and design something or a solution for this, I will not just jump into designing. I can, but it's not advisable. I will have to speak to other people who use ChatGPT. My question will now be like, okay, how do you query ChatGPT to give you response to a prompt you have asked before? Or how do you build a prompt you've asked days before? I will just frame the question to be able to get the insight I need to see if other people are experiencing the same problem. Of course, there'll be a number of questions I will ask to validate that, okay, this is actually a problem. Sometimes you may discover that it's not a problem for them. So it may not be a solution worth solving. Okay, but that's enough on the problem validation bit. Then also problem statement. So I'm going to give you an article that will guide you on how to create a problem statement. Day 3, 19, I think I forgot to put dates here and here, but these are like Friday, Saturday. So you explore solutions. So now you know the problem, you've defined the problem, you now bring on your thinking cap to think about solutions. Okay, how can we solve this problem? So you are expected in day 3, which is by Wednesday, to create a Figma file or a FigJam, whichever you want to use. But eventually your design will be on Figma. So I advise you use Figma to brainstorm possible ways to solve the problem. Then you're going to share the link, that Figma link, to the WhatsApp group, tagging me, and of course putting your name too, so I can know where the link is coming from, or who has that Figma link. Yeah. So the idea is to let me know, okay, I have 3 possible solutions. So it can be a user flow, it can be wireframes, but basically should capture how you are looking to solve the problem. Remember, keep it small, keep the scope very small. Then number 4 will be to design solutions. Okay. So let me give you a bit of disclaimer here. Not every problem, okay, for the sake of this, just focus on problems that require design solutions, because not every problem requires design solutions, right? But that's for a different conversation. But for now, just focus on problems you think that require design solutions. Okay, so if you're not clear with that statement, you can ask me later. But some problems do not require design. They require a solution, but it may not be a design solution. Maybe an engineering solution, maybe a copy or a marketing solution. But first of all, you have to define the problem and see, okay, this problem, do I need to design a solution for it, or is something that, let's say, for instance, if a page is taking so long to load, that's not a design problem. That's for engineering to optimize the infrastructure to ensure that it loads faster. Okay, so know whether the problem you identified, if the solution is requires a design solution. So now for design solution, within that Figma file, so you have 2 files. Now you have a Google document, you have a Figma file. Now you create another page in that Figma file that you're going to use for high fidelity designs. This mood board, I put asterisks here. So let me just say what a mood board is. I believe some of you know already, but a mood board is basically a collection of inspiration, right? So from the word mood. Now, when you are designing, there's a mood, there's an experience you want to give. There's an experience you want to give, right? Let me, because of my background, like this idea came to me. Let's say, for instance, if you are single or if you're married and you have your fiancé coming over and you want to keep the room or environment romantic, there's a way you set the room, right? Candles, lighting, and everything, because there's a mood you want her to experience, him or her to experience. Now, if you are designing for your customers or for users, if you are designing for your users, there's a mood you want them to have as they are using. That's the experience part. As they are using your product, how do you want them to feel? So when you are getting inspiration, those are the things that's how you know what inspiration to pick, right? So you know the mood in your head you want people. Okay, if somebody is using this app, what state do I want them to feel, to be in as they are using it, right? I don't want them to be relaxed. I want them to be excited. I don't want them to be smiling all through. Like, not every app requires excitement. Some app, you just want them to get through the process and go away. So you have to know, based on the product, what experience do you want to create? Based on that experience and the visual appeal, if it's a new product or an existing product, you now look for inspiration that creates that mood. So when you collect those inspiration, it forms what you call your mood board. So mood board is not just the product design thing. Fashion designers use it, visual designers use it, graphic designers use it, artists use it. Basically, just a collection of inspiration. It can be an image, it can be nature, photography, anything basically that inspires the mood you are looking to create. But you may not have the time for it. That's why I create a mood board. So you don't necessarily, it's not compulsory, but at some point you may need to check out a couple of places to get inspiration on what you're looking to do. But know that you don't have so much time. That's what I'm doing asterisks. So if you know what you want to do and you want to jump straight into it, please go ahead, but don't waste so much time on the mood board part. Then design, yes, so you can design from scratch or use an existing system, right? So yeah. Number 5 is design review. So by Thursday, so you created a document, the problem, you've explored solution, you design a solution. So your screens should not be more than 10, right? Let me just say 20. 20 is a stretch, but whatever you are going to solve, don't have more than 20 screens. 20 is a lot. If you have less, fine. But don't try to design for everything. Focus on just one flow, right? If you can do more than 20, fine. But my point is, don't overwhelm yourself. There's no time for it. You can build on this later, right? If the app you are going to design has different tabs, maybe it has setting, it has profile, that's only a business. I'm not asking you to design a setting page for me. I'm not asking you to design a profile page. What you need is, what is the problem? People want to order food, but they don't know how. Solve that. Don't tell me they need a wallet, they will fund their wallet, they are going to, no, that's not my business. Just show me from the problem to the solution. Every other thing is just secondary. That's how you prioritize, basically. So I'm going to review the design. So by Friday, so by Thursday 20th, so this Monday, this Tuesday, this Wednesday, this Thursday. So by Thursday evening, I expect links to come in so that by Friday, I can look at them and drop comments and give feedback. So see on that Figma file, I'll drop comments, give feedback. Every other person can also look at your designs and give feedback. Right. Then by Saturday, I expect us to look at those feedback that has been given and apply them or improve based on them. So this is what I think of right now. This is the plan I have. I hope it's not too much. So let me know if you think it's too much. Put that in the comments. Right? If you think it's not too much, don't say anything. Just stay calm and cool. But if you think this is too much, you don't think we'll be able to do, or you'll be able to follow through, just let me know in the comments. So I'm going to count down from 5 to 0. 5. Your head is spinning. Okay. 5. So I have only one person saying their head is spinning. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So it's too much. I'm a beginner. Mercy says she's a beginner. Okay, good. So we're going to have an interactive session. So those of you on the group, you are confused right now. Okay, so I'm going to allow you to ask your questions. Okay. So for that, I think the session should be max 1 hour 30 minutes. Or is it 1 hour maximum session?
No, it's not, Max. More than 1
said?
hour. Depending on 1 hour 30 minutes.
1 hour 30. Okay. So that I'm going to take your question. So Josephine, you're going to ask me a question. Why are you confused? Mercy, what is too much? And what do you think you can deliver in this 1 week? Taiwo, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take your questions, right? Yeah, okay, so let me take your questions first, and we'll look at interactive session if we, yeah, okay. So let me go from the list. So Josephine, let me unmute and let me know what's confusing to you. Okay. Okay, I'm unmute and okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Okay, so the reason why I said I'm confused is that I'm actually a beginner. So
Okay.
with all these that are saying, it's kind of like, I'm just trying to do 1 + 1 to make things together. So that's why I said I'm actually confused. So yeah.
Okay. Before you go up the mic, have you done any design before? Have you like created, or have you done a design before?
No, I haven't.
You've not done any design before. Okay. So, but you've completed a course program, a bootcamp, or
I have actually, but not really deep like that. Just like a surface, that kind of a thing.
okay.
So this would be like my main stuff right now, my main bookcamp right now. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So before I call on the next person, who is Mercy now? 7:15. We should be done by then with Kabere William. So before I call on the next person, so what we'll do is, for those of us who cannot design, whatever you're able to do in this 1 week is fine, right? So even if you cannot design, you should be able to identify a problem and Google stuff to validate the problem, basic research stuff.
Okay.
So Josephine, even though you may not be able to design, I don't think you should struggle with research or any problem. Is that something you think you can do?
I'll actually I'll give my best. No, I'll try my best actually.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to provide an article that you can read on how to identify problems. But like I said, it can be a personal problem for an app, from an app you found, a problem you can solve. And so validating the problem is simple. There are different ways. You can ask your friends or people you think may have experienced similar problem.
Okay.
Okay, this thing, is it a problem for you, or how do you do this? Right. I think I'll look for an article to drop on how to validate research, what's it called, design problems. So you can read that and apply it. But it's fine. So if you're unable to go through from the beginning to a final design, that's also fine. So, but the most important thing is that you make progress, because
Alright.
one very important key skill for designer is that you need to be able to identify a problem. Because if you're unable to identify a problem, then what are you designing for? So it's not, the visual skill is important, but you need to be able to clearly define or identify the problem. Okay, so that's also an important skill. So if that's the only thing you're able to do, that's progress. You can even write a case study on how you're able to validate the problem. Yeah. Let's see. It's too much. Are you, is your,
Hi, good
okay?
evening. Good evening.
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, I'm a beginner, but I'm going to go through what you said. But the only thing I might have difficulty with is the prototype, because I've not really done a design from start to finish before.
Okay.
But
So
the other ones, I'm going to start.
have you completed a design course?
I'm on one. I'm not done yet.
How far have you gone? What are the things you've learned so far?
Theoretical part, and then the practical. Yes, my tutor is doing all of that, but I've not by myself. I've not really designed. I'm still on Figma, struggling on doing some little things, but I can't say I can't finish a app by myself. No, I can't for now.
No. So I'm not really concerned about the design part. Like when you say, what have you learned? Like, can you do research? Right?
Yes, I
Can you
can.
do research? Okay. So which means you should be able to identify a problem and do research. So your Figma design doesn't have to be killer. Doesn't have to be the very best. I just need to know that you're able to put together screens to solve the problem. Okay. So if you can do that, that's fine. So if you can conduct research, document it, put on the Google document, then put screens together to solve the problem. That's also fine. Like I said, you can refine later. But for now, I need us to be able to say, okay, this problem, how do we solve it? That's a very important skill. Because so there are two types of designers. Not two types. Okay, so there are two routes. I think the next person, I've forgotten his name now. For the next session, I'm going to give more information on this. But as a designer, you can either freelance, work within an agency, or have your own agency, or work in-house. Now, if you freelance, it means that you don't have a product manager and you are going to make lots of decisions yourself, which means that you have to be able to think for yourself. And of course, you can leverage AI tools. Okay. Now, if you work in-house, you may have a product manager who kind of like gives you a document that guides what you need to design. But you need to be able to you need to be ready for, depending on the career, depending on what you want to do. But ideally, I would recommend that you are able to think for yourself. What that means is that I should be able to give you a problem that, okay, Mercy, I want to do this. And you take that problem and come up with a solution for it. Okay. So that's what I would recommend. But whatever you're able to do, let me know. Then also I can help along the way. You can tag me on the group and I will respond. I'll come to you somewhere, but let me just go through those inputs. I think someone said their head is spinning. So Kabiri William, Abari William, why is your head spinning? Okay, was a, but I'll come to Taiwo. I already mentioned William.
Okay, you were saying something about 10 and 20 pages. My mind was just
It's a
on
lot.
one.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
giving you maximum. Right, it can be one. But I'm quite curious how just one screen can solve a problem. Because the user have to go through a number of steps. right? It can be 3, 4 screens. I'm not sure one screen can solve a problem, except you don't want to solve a problem. Maybe you just want to design a fine or a nice Figma screen. But if you want to solve a problem, one screen cannot do it, regardless of whatever task. If the person wants to do transfer, whatever you want to do, it require at least a few steps. So it can be 4 steps, can be 3 steps, can be 5 steps. But I'm not sure just one screen would do it. Okay.
Yes,
But
thank you.
everything else clear for you?
Yes, everything else is clear. I'll go through the timeline and other
Okay,
stuff. Links you're going
Taiwo
to put.
says it's too much. Okay, Taiwo, what do you think you can achieve or it's optimal for this 1 week period?
Good evening, sir. This is why I said is few much is just because of my I'm
Schedule.
actively working and
Yeah.
the schedule. So the question I want to ask is, can we just keep maybe some pages in the design? For example, maybe we can just do maybe onboarding screen and skip some pages and move straight to the problem we are solving. I don't know, but
I don't want even doing onboarding screen set. What I want you to do is I don't so they are you don't need to do onboarding screens, right? Ideally you can, but I don't want to. Okay, let me give you a hack. You can go on Figma, but you know, I don't know. You can go on Figma and see designs, like there are designs of Figma people have done already. You can leverage that. So you don't have to design those ones. You can go, okay, somebody have done a design for this. Okay, this screen works for me. This screen works for me. This screen. You can pick stuff and merge it into what you need to do to save you time. But most importantly, don't just go to Figma, because I've said this now. Don't just go to Figma and copy somebody's design and give me. No. In fact, I will search to be sure that this design you're giving me, I can't find the Figma community. The reason I'm saying is that if what you're designing for requires some screens that you think will make the flow complete, but you don't have the time for it, you can leverage, and that's why I made mention of UI kits. You can leverage a design of Figma and just change the color, change the button positions, change the text, and continue focus on the parts you need to. But if you don't have the time for that, focus on the key flow. For instance, if somebody wants to order food, they need a page where they can see the food displayed. Full stop. When they click on when they can add, okay, let's say they can order just one food, not add to cart. Maybe you don't have the time. When they click on it, they can read about, okay, what makes up this food, the detail page. Click on pay, and they put their payment details. That's like 4 or 5 screens. If that solves the problem you're looking to address, fine. But don't worry about extra details. Like, this person does not have money in their wallet, they have to fund the wallet, their card is not going through, there's a success, there's a failure state, it's pending. Don't worry, just focus on one successful flow. Right? That is why it's important that you create a user flow first. So when you create a user flow, how many of us know how to create a user flow? I'm speaking to Taiwo now, but I see there are more hands up. How many of us know how to create a user flow? Just say me or something. Okay, give me a reaction. Good. So a user flow basically shows how
No, sir.
I'll come to you. Let me just explain this. So user flow is basically explains how you go from the first step to the final step. The reason why user flow is important is so that you can know which part of the flow. Like user flows can be a lot. User flow is a combination of task flows, like I will explain. Let me explain this. So for instance, let's say let me use e-commerce. That's the one that's most relatable. If somebody wants to buy a shirt, now for instance, on Jumia, the first step is the login. Once they log in, they search for the shoe or the shirt they want to buy. They add it to cart. They check out. Those are like 4 tasks. One is to log in. One is to search for what I want to buy. The other one is to add it to my cart. The 4th one is to pay. Right? Now, these are 4 tasks that the person have to complete for this whole user flow. Each of those tasks are referred to as task flows. So they are short. But holistically, they combine to form what we call a user flow. Now, for the Jumia product as a whole, imagine the number of flows it will have. What we just said is about checking out, but you can fund your wallet on Jumia. You can change your name, change your email. The number of things you can do. So the user flow is going to be a lot. What I'm saying is focus on the problem you want to solve and create a user flow for it. All right, so that you can know what parts you don't have to focus on and what parts you can deliver within this time frame. So I believe that answers you, Taiwo. So yes, try and keep it very simple. Focus on the core problem. Onboarding is not really part of the problem you're looking to solve. Onboarding is just a nice to have. Focus on the core problem. Whatever is not necessary, leave it out. Right? Who else? So we have, let me see. I have responded to Kabari, Taiwo. Okay. So let me go to Samuel. Omikunle Samuel. I think Marianne's up. Okay, no, Samuel first. Yeah. Samuel.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So my question is quite different.
Okay.
I wanted to ask on question about using AI to create design. For instance, if you are given a task now and you just put it in AI, maybe your PRD, tell AI to give you a prompt where you can use on to create a design on platform, AI platform that give you designs, and you create and you give those platform, they give you the design and you use your own description, your own creativity to design it. Is there any problem about that? Like,
let me be sure I get your question. So your question is, you use AI generates the design for you and you customize you.
I feel like instead of going to maybe Pinterest, Behance to look for mood boards, you just give AI to solve it for you, and then you do some editing. So the person's the clients. What do you think there's a problem? Maybe I'm trying to dodge.
No, I get your question. You are trying to save time. So let me put my 2 cents here. Right? Let me see how quick I can do this. But so this is it. For me, my recommendation is let AI validate your creative output, not replace your creative output.
Okay.
So I'll say this for 2 reasons. One, if a client can use AI to generate a design, or if a company can use AI to generate a design, why should they hire you? So I will respond. I know you may mention not just fully AI. I know your part is like AI will generate and you customize, but I'm coming there, right? So why should they hire you, right? So you have to note that. But let me go back to what I was saying when it comes to like you do your stuff, let AI validate. Now it's important as humans. There's the satisfaction that comes from doing work, the fulfillment that comes from doing work. You should not deny yourself of that. There's a place for using AI. Let me speak to that. Now, you can use AI to source for inspiration or to give you different ways you can lay out or come up with a particular design. But avoid the one solution syndrome. Because if you tell AI, okay, it can give you different solutions, right? But I don't know, there's this thing now. If you have seen, it's very easy to spot a design that is created by AI. And let me explain to you why that is different. Now, this your question can take time, but let me try to make it brief. So as humans, we get inspiration from anywhere, right? AI only fits based on the data that was provided and based on existing information in the past. You can be inspired by a physical product. You can be inspired by nature. You can be inspired by somebody's dressing. Now, those things need to feed into your design. So I'm speaking for 2 reasons. One is not just because of this bootcamp session. Some of you may take whatever I'm going to say now and use it even beyond this. So I'm speaking to that part also. Now, back to what I was saying, right? So there's a uniqueness that comes with designs that you create. AI is a tool. A tool means that it's supposed to make you more efficient and effective, but not to do a large part. AI is not creative, right? Basically, when it comes to visual design. So we can have this conversation later, but there are other things I need to respond to. But in summary, yes, you can use AI to generate solutions for you, but as much as possible, employ your creativity. It's very important that you employ your creativity. I thought of this before this call because I know somebody was going to ask something around this. But one final thought that came to me then was this: as a person, as a designer who wants to grow to become a thought leader or a design director, design manager in company or in their own company, you need to be able to think on your feet, right? And in the moment. What that means is that I don't know how many of you have seen this Instagram or YouTube. I think it's Instagram video or TikTok where a guy was going for an interview. So when he got there, I think the receptionist asked him, either the interview or the receptionist asked him, the interview will start in a few minutes. Do you want tea or coffee? So the guy pulled out his phone and asked ChatGPT. I came for an interview and they're asking me if I want tea or coffee. What should I say? So ChatGPT gave him a response. He responded. The receptionist did the same thing. An interview came now. I asked them this, they said this, what should I like? So they were basically just using ChatGPT for that interaction. So you don't want that to happen, because if you are standing before stakeholders, you are presenting to or you are pitching to a client, so you need to be able to think on your feet. Now, just imagine what has happened with calculators, right? Back in the day when we were preparing for JAMB, WAEC, you can do complex calculations with your brain. But when you get to uni, because you've used calculator, there are certain simple calculations you can ask me now. I will go and use calculator. But not back in the day, I was able to use my head. The point is, because I was allowed to use calculator, there's an argument for that, but okay. Let me try and summarize this, right? Because there's a pro and con. But let me finish the line I've already started on. So my point is, AI is good, right? But what you need to know is, don't leverage or don't outsource too much of your thinking to it, or too much of your creative work or creativity to it. You need to. So what I would say is, I recommend that for those of us who are going to design, when you're going to brainstorm with AI, right? First of all, take like 30 minutes to 1 hour. Task yourself to brainstorm. Before I ask ChatGPT this, let me think about it myself. Come up with something. Then you can use ChatGPT. Imagine that happened to me. Imagine you do something like I've designed a product and do stuff, and I asked ChatGPT, and it was just giving me most of the stuff already done. I was so happy because, like, yes, I'm that smart. The reason why I felt I was so smart was because AI works based on data from thousands of resources. So if I can design or do something, and ChatGPT was able to come up with that same thing I already thought of, it means that I am so smart that from all the resources it checked, like I have my level of thinking matched that. Imagine the satisfaction that I was so satisfied. So don't deny yourself of that. So yes, you can use AI, but first of all, task yourself to do it, then validate with AI. And of course, you can refine from there. We can continue later on, but this is going to be a very long conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samuel. Okay, so Emmanuel, Nyedikachi, and okay, no, Miriam should go first. I think Miriam, yeah, let me hear you.
All right, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you for the presentation so far. My talk would actually be with respect to the task you have posed.
Okay.
I don't know whether you can hear me because it sounds like my
I can hear you.
Okay. So you said we should look for like an app or something that isn't working so well. I just wanted to say this. We recently worked on a project, and so while we're working on it, I checked some competitor apps, and I realized that there's this particular app that I downloaded. When the user wants to, like a user forgets their password and they want to change the password, they're not able to do that. So if I decide to use that on this task, does that answer the question? Because that will probably be just like a screen.
Okay, no. Can you say that again? Emmanuel, can you mute? Emmanuel, just mute so that we can hear Mariam. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I was saying, with respect to this task, you said we should identify a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I've recently researched an app, and I realized that on this particular app, just like you said, you know you have a problem with GTP not giving you feedbacks immediately like WhatsApp does. Okay, so I recently researched an app, and I realized that when I wanted to use the app, if on forgetting password, I'm not able to change password on that app. So if I decide to, fix that problem on this app, does that solve this task that you have for us?
Yeah, that solves it. But my question to you would you be proud to say that this is what you did? Like, I know that it's going to be impactful in the sense that impact, like, okay, let me scope it. Let me direct the impact. It's going to impact a lot of users, because everybody who has the product, we need to reset password at some point. So it's impacting everybody.
Exactly.
But in the grand scheme of things, is this something you think you'll be proud of?
Well, if you ask me, I'll say it's something I think I could be proud of, because I'm not even sure that the app owners realized that this was a problem initially. Do you understand? So until I looked at it and I said to them, I'm not able to change my password on this app. What's going on?
Okay, good. You can explore it, but like I would say, don't just focus on resetting password, right? Or even other solutions. People even need the password to log in.
Yeah, I could look for other pages on the app too that I think, is not sitting well, and I could add that as additional features, right?
I even think the password problem can lead you to a number of scenarios. First off, do people even need a password to log in? Right?
No, not to log in. You've forgotten your password, and you need to, on the app, for you to do anything. Of course, if you've forgotten a password, like now you want to do a withdrawal on the app because it's an app that pays you.
Okay.
Do you understand? So you're not able to do your withdrawal because you don't remember a password. So that means you're stuck.
Yes, so I hear you, right? What I'm even saying now is, let's think based on first principles, right? This problem came as a result of password. So if you want to apply first principles, when I say first principles, like go down to the foundation of where this problem all started. It started because of password. So as a designer, you should even ask question: should users require passwords to log in? Like, I think we started going to your solution, but like the other ways people can log in. Slack does a magic link. Some platforms use OTP. So if it's a magic link, the problem will not even be there in the first place. If it's OTP, then I don't have to even forget to think of resetting my password. What I'm just saying is, it seems to be a small problem and the solution is very straightforward. But I think you can expand it a bit and come up with a holistic solution that you think, if you are thinking OTP, if you think they should still keep using password and do reset password, that's fine. If you want, like I'm thinking, you want to think, okay, do they even need the password? You have to study, okay, systems of products that don't require users to use password, that uses magic link. What kind of products require magic link? What is the security that comes with that? Systems that require people to use OTP. Why do they use OTP? They use SMS, they use WhatsApp, right? So I'm saying that for you right now, it seems like the solution is very straightforward and you want to jump on it. But I'm saying you can think about it holistically and you can even make it more like it will not be something that it will not just be like a simple password reset solution. To be something that we even you can now factor it into user authentication, means that validating users. So yeah, you can use it, but I'm saying that don't just focus on one solution you set password with.
Yeah,
Oh,
got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got what you mean. Thank you.
Okay. So we have just one hand. Emmanuel, Onyedikachi. So after that, then I'm going to see how we can scope this down. And
Good evening, design.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So,
I can hear you.
Good. Now, let me be brief. Currently, I just had replicated a design, two designs precisely. Yeah. So, I don't know if I can probably copy the link and send to you so that you can, see a way of evaluating it. So let me say 2 problems like food and fashion.
I get you. I get you.
Food
So
art
you
and
already have a
fashion.
design you would want us to use. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
So
I
what
will
we can
probably send
do,
to you,
because
you can evaluate it. And, yeah.
I get you. So you're saying you already have a design, 2 designs you've done. If we can just validate that and
Yes,
use
sir.
that instead.
Exactly.
Okay. So my response would be, if we allow that, other people may want to do that. Well, I'll allow Flash this me at some point. But if we say, okay, that's possible, it means that I would have to query your solution. Basically reviewing. Like, okay, how did you discover the problem? How did you validate that it was a problem worth solving? What is the impact of the solution if you solve the problem? Do you have a problem statement for the solution for the design you did? Then also, how do you think? Basically, it will just be a group of questions. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, Emmanuel, for that, define the problem for a solution. To pick one of them, not 2 of them. Pick one. Define the
Please mute
problem.
yourself so that we can hear you.
Okay, Emmanuel, please mute. What's your? Sorry, I'm not Yoruba, but please mute. If you are not speaking, please mute. Damilola, please mute. It's quiet now. Damilola, please mute. Okay, so Emmanuel, yeah. For the designs you have, I have questions for you. So you see in that document, right? Now, show me so I need to see, you still need to provide a problem statement for the designs you have. You need to show that how did you validate that it was a problem worth solving? Of course, I don't expect it to be a client's problem. If it's a client's problem, if it's a problem you've solved in your place of work, that's not allowed for now. For me, basically, that is something you did personally. Okay, so don't bring on a client project, don't bring on a company project, can bring a personal project. That will be recent. Now, you should, in the documents I'm going to share that you copy, Emmanuel, for that design you created already, capture what's it called now? The validation, like the resources, the research you did to validate that this design is worth solving, or this design is worth creating. Also, capture or put in there your problem statement, right? Then also let me know the different things you explored before you arrived at the final design solutions you created. Yeah, so I think that can work. So just still work for you. Make sure it's a recent design. Make sure it's not a company product or a project or a client's project. That's a personal project. If it's a personal project, then provide this information in a document. I can look at it. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, Kutaje.
So
Sorry.
one, it's not.
Sorry, Kutaje, can you hear me?
Your audio is breaking. Man, please type. Fulash, you can go on.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, please, if you're not talking, please mute yourself. There's this background noise and all that, and it's not friendly, please, so that we can hear each other.
Okay.
Please mute yourself if you're not talking. The only person mic that should be on now is Kutaje. Every other person, please mute yourself when you're talking, or mute as soon as you're done. Please mute it back. Thank you. Over to you, Kutaje.
All right, thank you. So yeah, Emmanuel,
Yeah.
you can type.
Okay, sorry. I was saying something.
Okay, I can hear you.
Now, one, it's not a plan or client project or client work. So it's a personal work, a personal project job. So when I started learning the project stuff, and I was just picking random designs and replicating them.
Emmanuel, I'll have to interrupt you. Sorry, because we are almost out of time. Sorry, I have to interrupt you. But what we'll do is just populate the document that will be. I'm going to share a document tonight. So populate, if you have this information I ask for, the resources that shows that, okay, you were saying you just replicated designs. If you just replicated designs, then you definitely need, you should not, we can't work with that. Right? So this is not a visual design session. If it's visual design, it's a different thing entirely. If it's visual design, then I know that, okay, we're just to showcase Figma skills and understanding of visual design. But what we're doing now is just, it's taking you from the problem to solution. What you did is like a defined thing, just jumping straight into design. That's not what we're doing. So in that case, the designs you have do not apply. You need to spot a problem and solve them, or solve it basically. So yeah, your design does not apply. From what you said, I didn't hear you clearly, but I know you were saying you just saw a couple of designs and you replicated them. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything. But yeah, so going back to the kind of activities, if you're unable to do everything we have here, it's fine. It's not a, there's no certificate. I don't know if Project is going to give you guys a certificate at the end of the bootcamp, but there is no requirements or punishments or anything that will say that if you're unable to do this, you would get this, or right? So, but I just want to see you make progress this week. You should be able to identify a problem, because sometimes if you are working in a company, right, what the PM, the product manager, or the client will come to you as the problem may not be the problem. A client can tell you, we have this problem. As a designer, it's a responsibility to understand, why is that a problem? Is it the real problem? If it's the real problem, you have to validate it and say, okay, yes, that is the real problem. Because sometimes, just like let's say how a human being or animal can be sick. I can be having, let's say, headache. Okay, let me use something else. I don't know what to use, but the point is this, right? Sometimes the symptom is the symptom is not the problem. There's actually an underlying problem. So the client can tell you this is the symptom. People are not using our product. So it's your job to know, why are they not using your product? When did they stop to use your product? How many people are currently using your product? What exactly are they not using? Right? So that is what we want you to have in this week. You need to be able to understand what is a problem and to drill down to what is an actual problem. What is the impact of this actual problem? That is your value as a designer, right? And that's how you can even compete with AI. Because the more AI tools are out there, the more AI advanced, the more we need to deepen our thinking ability as humans and as designers. There should be something that you can do that AI cannot do. That's a differentiator. But that's for another conversation. But I think pretty much we've covered a lot of things. Right? So tonight I'm going to provide you with Google documents to duplicate and populate the problem you want to solve. Like I said, focus on the problem you can solve in 1 day or in 1 week. You can skip steps if you already have head start, like things you want to do. You can just zoom forward. But tonight there'll be a document for you to duplicate. Tomorrow you identify the problem. You do a bit of research. Research means going to Google. I want to solve this problem. Share me, or let's share with me articles, links, blogs that talk about this problem. Simple. ChatGPT will give you stuff. Google will give you stuff. Go there, read about it. Okay, I think this problem, is a small problem, or it's not even a problem. Leave it. Pick another problem. It can be an app you already. It can be your GT Bank app. It can be your Access Bank app. It can be your Jumia. It can be an app on your phone. Which is the more reason why I need to share with you guys this Bruce Douglas 365 days of design. You guys need to see. You need to just go through what she did, because some of you are already thinking too much. You're overthinking already. It can be 2 screens, can be 3 screens. Why that we can be 1 screen share. But let's say 2 screens, 3 screens, 4 screens, 5 screens, and more. But I'll share with you. So when I share that Twitter handle with you, go through it. you will now see, because that's how you're going to present your designs, right? The problem, the impact, solution, your design. So I owe you two things this night: the Google template and the Twitter handle that captures what Douglas did. So when you see our Twitter, what she did, it will inspire you on how to spot problems. There are a lot of problems with the apps you have on your phone. There are a lot of problems you have on a daily basis. Like for me, what I said about ChatGPT, not a number of persons would have seen it, but that's the problem. Now, Notion, for me, Notion is a lot, depending on what I want to do. So most of the tools you use, there are issues with it, but you may be blind to it, right? So when I share the Twitter handle with you and you go through our posts on what she did, it will inspire you to know how to spot problem. It may be a wish, actually. It doesn't even have to be a problem. It can be something you wish existed in the product. See if other people wish the same way. You design for it, right? So then also, so how you Google document, Twitter handle post tonight. Then yeah. So any other questions you have, you can let me know in chat. But I think we have almost exhausted our 1 hour 30 minutes. I didn't know it was going to be this long. But yeah, as we progress, we can iterate from there. Emmanuel. Kabiri, your hand is up again, or Kabari, your hand is
Yes,
up.
it's Kabari.
Okay,
I
let's go
wanted
on.
to ask for the design that we need to do. Can we have like okay, can I have like a template to follow, like something I don't want to I can't start from scratch.
I'm coming. Flash, I sent me a message. Let me see. Just miss this. Okay, 1 hour design challenge. Okay, let me mute. Okay, I think I'll respond to you for later, but you need the templates. Okay, so I see here that we have a mix of. I'll share it here. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. I see that we have a mix of people who have done designs and people who have not done designs. Right. For those of us who have not done designs, we may not have so much experience with Figma community, and that may be a challenge. If we can, so I can't really give you a template, but what I can do is this. Okay, first of all, identify the problem that you want to solve. Let's start from there. Once you identify the problem, I can now say, okay, check out this template if I find any. But you have to identify the problem you want to solve first, and I can help you look around for things I think you can leverage on to do your stuff, right? But just by tomorrow, have your problem identified, do your research about it to show that it's a problem you think is worth solving, right, and impact to have. Then when it comes to actual design, I can see how we can mitigate to give you a head start or to help you just build on top of whatever exists to just get your solution done. But I think that would help, Kabari. Yeah?
Yes, it would. Thank you.
Okay. So there may be a 1 hour design challenge. Tackle a reward brief and share their first draft. Okay, for that, first, I will share more on that. Right, I'm not really giving it so much thought. But any other question from anybody? No. Okay, any more questions you have? Let me know in the WhatsApp group. But Flash, I did this 1 hour design, because the issue I have now is everybody is not on the same level right now. So if I give everybody a 1 hour design challenge, it may not be fair, right? So I don't know if how that would work, but let me know. But I'm done here.
All right. Thank you so much, Kutaje, for this session. So like Kutaje said, he's going to share some templates with us and we'll get it. Please try to do your tasks. You don't have to, like you said, complete, like do everything. But if you keep procrastinating and saying that, or you feel overwhelmed and feel like, oh, I must do everything, at least attempt to do it. Don't just drop it and say, this is too difficult. Try to do it. Don't just leave it. All right. So you're going to get a mail, probably max tomorrow, for your tax for the week. For those that have not submitted, that didn't submit last week activity. All this activity is not for vibes. It's for your own growth. It's for your own good. Please try to attempt. You don't have to give a perfect work, but the fact that you show up, you tried to do it, not complaining. I know many people have different issues. So people say work, but this is one thing I used to say. If something is very important to you, just like your partner, I'm also going to use love scenarios too. So just like your partner is very important to you, you make sacrifices, except you don't used to talk to your partner. You feel like I'm a busy person, but at least 1 minute of your time, you give that time to your partner. You talk, you send messages, or you guys chat and all that. So design, to take it as your second lover, right? Let me use that word. Show sacrifice, show that you really care about design. So all those little tasks, subtle tasks, you should do them. See, everybody's busy in this life. Everybody's busy. Everybody's doing one thing or the other. But you just have to show up for yourself. It's for your own good. So before we wrap up, like we used to do, I want someone to give us like a takeaway from today's session. What will you be doing after today's session? What's your highlights of today's session? Thank you. So, Kabaru.
My highlight is on not feeling led by AI and knowing how to use it, when to use it in design. And also knowing the value of impact.
Thank you, Kabari. Thank you so much. Who else wants to go? Some people are just silent. I believe they are silent executors. That's what I want to believe. If you don't talk in class, but low key, you'll be a silent executor. Who else? I'm going to go through people on this chat. Okay, I have Abisoye.
Good evening.
Oh, okay, Victoria, please go ahead.
So I learned that that AI is a tool and it's supposed to make our work more effective. And so this week I think I'm going to be doing acting because I've not done this task before, but I'm trusting God to help me to be able to execute and at least do something. So yeah.
Well done. Thank you, Victoria, for that. Oyelawo.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, Abisoye.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Kutaje. That was a lovely presentation there. And my takeaway from tonight was the creativity part. Like, you have to show your own creativity, even though you are good at what you do. Like, you shouldn't just let AI to take over the whole thing. Like Samuel asked the question, and Kutaje did justice to it by letting us to know that whatever you're doing, just show your creativity. And more so from what he said about the Douglas thing, like every little effort you do counts. Like it might not be showing, because I believe Douglas was able to do that by showing up every day, and it was actually counting. So whatever you do, like no matter the little effort you put, it's gonna show, it's gonna be visible in the nearest future. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Babatunde, for that. Thank you so much. Oyelawo.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My highlight for today is understanding that, like thank you, Mr. Taji, for the breakdown of how to execute the task, because now I understand the roadmap of how to actually highlight problems, like the case study. Okay, you know how to like draft it, validate it, execute your design, blah blah blah. You get, then the task for the week is most likely going to be as like using your superpower as a designer to understand where exactly the problem is and how to actually tackle it and make sure that it's actually a real problem that users are actually facing, just because our main focus is meant to be to make users' lives better. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, Emmanuel.
For me, my take home this night, two things: identifying the problem and solving the problem, basically. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. While we're still waiting for more people to give their own highlights, I just want us to celebrate one of our design experts. She took last week's session. She's on the call. She has been on the call. I was wondering if she was one or not. Can we just celebrate her with our emoji? Our design coach, Ayomide. Yeah.
I have been on this call.
Yeah, she has been on the call from the beginning. I mean, seeing Ayomide, I was wondering, is this part of participant or maybe because her picture was not on the profile?
Hi, Paula. Hi, everyone.
Nice to hear your sweet voice again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Okay. Do we have more people who share? Mercy, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kutaje. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My take home is firstly on the AI part, because I always leverage on AI. For Mr. Kutaje actually opened my eyes to have to think and be creative by myself before I leverage on AI. I should be able to bring out something, because I just like to just make my work easy. I just go to AI and just do this stuff, content, and it just brings out something for me. But now I should sit down and think through before I go to AI. AI should be my secondary, not my primary. And then again, I didn't see this coming though. Like I said, I'm a beginner, but I don't know this section that we have to do all of this in the high fidelity and everything. That's I'm not there yet, but I know this week is gonna stretch me, because I'm going to try my best to do what I can do and even do more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Who else, please? I think that will be all, right? Okay. So I just wanted to highlight some few.
Sorry for that. I just pasted the link to Rue's handle on Twitter. So I want you guys to go through our tweets for 2024. It will just help inspire you on how to look at how to come up with improvements to other products. Right. So just go through. You'll see actually, I think it was for 60 days. So just go through it. Some of them are funny, some of them are just playing around, but it will help you know, okay, I think for this product, this is what I can do, this is what we can add. Right. So just go through our tweets for 2024. But that's the Twitter land. I've left it in there. And what you call the comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kutaje. So if you remember while Kutaje was talking earlier, I mentioned when I was introducing at first, I mentioned Soulful. Maybe I'll drop it on the book. You might want to go and check it out, right? I think it's still on waitlist or something, but you want to check it out because you know your designers. Say again.
I have can I drop the link in the WhatsApp?
Yeah, on the WhatsApp group, yes.
I'll drop the link to please you guys go and subscribe to my podcast, YouTube channel. I'm going to start carrying that.
Definitely. So I'm going to say all that
right now. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel, then also join the waitlist for Sovo. All right. I'll drop the links in the WhatsApp group. Thank you for that.
All right, thank you as well. So I'd reach out to one person to share a 1-minute video of our highlight so far of the bootcamp. So if you're interested as well, please just enter my DM or I will enter your DM. But at least I know somebody that's been active in fast and consistent, right? And also the last year of the bootcamp, there's going to be like a maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes teaching on something. Don't let me spill the tea right here, right? Before the quick Q&A questions. So also, like I said, All the coaches are on the group. If you want to ask questions, please no DMs. Like no DMs. When I mean no DMs, I mean it. Please just honor that. Ask on the group. There's no stupid question, like I used to say, no stupid question, no foolish question. Just ask your question, right? Also try to follow our coaches, talk about them on LinkedIn, how far they've blessed you. Follow, don't forget to follow Designer, follow Circle on, we are on Instagram, currently on Instagram and LinkedIn. Share our posts, talk about us, right? Don't share in this, don't take this blessing alone, share with others as well. So next week, we're going to be having another design expert, and it's going to be talking on portfolio and pathway, your first case study. So it's going to talk more about it, what hiring managers are looking out for and all that. Then we're going to have like a +1 class, or is it +1 class I'll call it, or a top-up class. We'll have like a tech recruiter come talk to us on the last day. I'm still waiting for our final feedback, but we are going to be having a tech recruiter talk to us on how to be your CV, how to put yourself out there, and different things basically that has to do with getting that job that you desire. So yeah, if there's any other thing, the community manager or myself will always talk on the group. Please check your mails. That's why we intentionally send mails for safekeeping and all that. So also check the WhatsApp group. Don't be dormant. I want to celebrate us in Kabari as well. There's a way like she asks questions. There's a way she not really asks questions, but there's a way that you just know that she's here, right? Whenever that person has been active, talking, giving feedback, Mercy, Emmanuel, Taiwo, like different people that has been talking and all that. Please just keep it up. There's no shyness, or there's no Aztec brothers and sisters or designers. You can't be shy because you have to communicate your work, right? You have, aside designing, you have to also talk about your work, show your work. All right. So I think with this, I don't know if Ayomide has anything for us, any word of wisdom before we call it a day, and Kutaje as well.
For me, I'll just say keep showing up for yourself, because your future depends on your today's efforts. You have to actually do the work to become who you actually want to become. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayomide. Kutaje, what about you?
I don't have any motivational encouragement speech like I really just gave. Maybe I will have some next week. But for now, since it's my session for the week, I would say don't it's not a do or die affair for this week. I know Fola has hammered on treating it like a partner, getting things done. The most important thing for me is for you to make progress, right? So if you are able to find a problem, create a problem statement. I will guide you how to create a problem statement. But if you're able to identify a problem, why you think it's a problem worth solving, and eventually design a solution for it, awesome. But still, if you are unable to design a solution but still identify the problem, that's also progress, because that's a very vital skill. You know what I'm saying is just find a way to make progress this week. Okay, so don't say you are so busy, you're unable to identify any problem, which means all the apps you are using, your experience and everything is fine. No, there has to be a problem you think should be worth solving. And as a creative person or a designer, at some point you should have, or you should think of solutions to that problem. So yeah, don't feel overwhelmed for this week. I'll be here for you. Yeah, that's all for me.
Okay, thank you to our design experts for this session, and also our other design experts. So thank you so much, and do have a lovely and productive week. Yeah, we'll connect on WhatsApp. So take care, everybody. Have a blessed week ahead. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Good night, everyone.